Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we will be learning about coordination and response. We will discuss about the brain, about neurons, reflex actions and many more. Now, let's begin.
First and foremost, let's learn about the brain and its individual parts. The brain has 5 main parts which each play a different role in the body. The cerebrum makes up the top part of the brain and is responsible for the coordination of body organs, voluntary actions and reception of sensation. It is also where memory is stored. The cerebellum located at the back of the brain controls balance and instinct. The medulla is responsible for controlling unconscious activities like heartbeat, peristalsis and breathing. Also, it connects the brain with the spinal cord. The hypothalamus located beneath the cerebrum is involved in monitoring changes in the body and provides instructions to the pituitary gland to produce the correct hormone at the correct time. So you now know about the 5 parts of the brain: the cerebrum, cerebellum, hypothalamus, medulla and pituitary gland.
Now let's learn about neurons. There are 3 types of neurons: number 1, sensory neurons, number 2, relay neurons and number 3, motor neurons. Sensory neurons transmit electrical impulses to the spinal cord. Relay neurons connect the impulse from the sensory neuron to the motor neuron, and motor neurons transmit electrical impulses to an effector or a gland.
Neurons are not long, so the electrical impulse they transmit should be transferred from one neuron to another. This is done with the help of synapses. When an impulse arrives at the end plate of a neuron, synaptic vesicles are stimulated to release neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft and they travel to the postsynaptic membrane. They then bind with receptors on the postsynaptic membrane which allow the next nerve to transmit the impulse. This is how impulses are transmitted from one neuron to another.
Now that we know about neurons, let's discuss about reflex actions. To start with, a reflex action is an instant action to a specific stimulus, and the point to note here is that it is an unconscious activity. There are many reflex actions that occur and their function is to protect us from harm and danger. Reflex actions can be triggered when you accidentally touch a hot object or when you enter a brightly lit environment. Neurons that we learnt before help reflex actions to take place by transmitting electrical impulses very fast.
Hormones, what are they? A hormone is a chemical manufactured by a gland that travels by the blood to an organ and is destroyed by the liver. Examples of hormones include adrenaline, which is secreted during stressful situations, and insulin, to convert glucose to glycogen.
Lastly, let's talk about how bones move with the help of muscles. There are 3 types of joints: fixed joints, ball and socket joints and hinge joints. Fixed joints don't move, but the other 2 types do. Ball and socket joints provide movement in many planes, while hinge joints only provide movement in one plane. In this joint, 2 muscles work antagonistically to make the bone move. During antagonistic muscle contraction, one muscle contracts and the other relaxes to move the bone in one direction.
That brings us to the end of another lesson. If you learned something new, please consider subscribing, and if you have any questions related to this lesson, please do ask us in the comments section below, and we'll see you in another video. Bye.